Hi, my name is Daniel Khalili, and the Bianca Foundation is here to provide the tools necessary to create successful teens to be successful in every aspect of their life.
Topic is?
Yes, I know what it is.
Come here. Let's do this one.
Stress when you're for tests.
So test stress comes, some of it before test, some of it during when you study, and some of it actually when you are taking the test. When you get stressed out, what do you do?
I'll listen to Joel Osteen, I'll do P90X, and I'll just think to myself, all is well, and pray to God.
Does that help?
Yes, it does help.
A lot of studies shows that it does help some people, so thank you. But let's talk about when you... Okay. Introduce yourself.
My name is Rona Simoni.
Hi, Rona. And what do you do to calm yourself down when you're stressed out?
I think about animals. I like all kinds of animals that I like.
Do you know when people say, I think of something, is that that's a way of meditation?
Yes.
When you guys are so stressed out. First of all, let me talk to you about that game. Who knows what the game of So What is? We as human beings, guys, we all should be playing So What in life. There is one rule about So What that we cannot do. You cannot hurt anyone, including yourself. So anything, any stress in life, any obstacle, any time that you really feel stressed, please, so what? And then the second part is, what is the worst case scenario? So if you do bad in a test, you want to ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario? And usually the answer, the worst case scenario, is not really as bad as we think it is. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes. So right before the test, let me tell you a quick study what they say. If you can, because that's very difficult, if you can study where you're going to actually take your test, let's imagine if you're taking tests in this room, if you can study in this room, you will do better in test. Why? Because the surrounding, the chairs, tables will work as cues, and it's much easier for us to retrieve the answers. So how we can do that, because we can't be in a classroom all the time and study, is that you visualize yourself while you're sitting at home on your couch by your desk. Visualize yourself that you're sitting in class actually, and that's another way of calming yourself down, is that for those who get really nervous before test, try to sit in a room and kind of walk yourself through, what am I going to do to take the test? I'm going to be sitting in the class, pick up the paper and the pen, I will retrieve all the answers, and I will be able to answer all the questions. So in a way, play it out in your head ahead of time. If you, guys, if I say anything that you have any questions, if you need to interrupt, please do so. There is no instructions that you have to do certain things. If you guys, who can give me the definition of stress? Who knows what stress? Sammy.
Well, stress is when you're always worried and thinking about the problem or what's not going to work out. You're expecting the worst.
Absolutely. Very good.
And your mind is always running, your heart's racing, and even when you go to sleep, you still think about it.
Now let's go back. So there are a lot of stress right before it. So hopefully we can get through that. What's the difference between meditation and relaxation is, actually for relaxation, we will do something to calm ourselves down. Deep breathing. 5 nose in, hold 3, mouth 10 out. I was just telling Nilu that we use it so every day, so casual. Come on, take a deep breath. You'll be fine. Go ahead. Deep breathing, it's really a scientific that when we get really agitated, when we are in pain, when we are really stressed out, nervous, angry, we do shallow breathing. Like women when they're in labor, that's what we do without knowing. So if we really do the deep breathing, what it does is that when we shallow breathe, we get extra oxygen in our brain, we get lightheaded, and we can make really the best decision. So truly, guys, practice the 5, 3, 10, that when you need it, you know how to do it. 5, 10 out. Does that make sense? 5, nose in, hold 3, 10, mouth out. That means it has to be very gentle and slow. So let's imagine you do that for your relaxation. Again, relaxation, we do deep breathing. Sometimes for people who are really nervous, they need to do workout, or they just need to keep their mind busy. Meditation, on the other hand, is the time that you really kind of become very quiet with the self. So you pay attention to, in a way, you kind of take a body inventory. You pay attention to your eyebrows, you relax your cheeks, you just know what's happening with the body. Not necessarily in meditation we change anything. In relaxation we do change. In meditation we just get to be in touch. Yes, darling.
There was a study I heard about Coke that helps you relax actually.
Coke means this Coke?
Yes.
Oh, good. Just
Coke.
making sure. Okay.
And it helps you relax. And I never tried it before, but I heard it from a study.
So let me talk about what you just said. Please, all of you, before test, it's really important to eat well. Part of your brain, teenagers, young people, do you know what your brain feeds off? Sugar and fat. So it's really important right before the test, you eat well. Make sure you have something sugary. Parents going to hate me, but I always said, give kids donuts. Let them have donuts. Yes, you have.
Is it true that like if you chew gum and then
That's why I have gum on your table.
and then you write on like with red pen on yellow paper and then you chew the same flavor of gum when you take the test and then like all the information just goes push.
Do you remember what I said? If you sit in the same room, when you study for your test, you do better because it gives you the cue and it's easier for you to retrieve. That's what it does, probably. But going back to chewing gum, one thing that we're hoping, Nilu, I was just talking to her, is that I would love to talk to the staff and your teachers to allow you to chew gum. Do you want to be on camera? Here. To chew gum, because for a lot of us, gum, it's calm, it makes you calm, and it helps you to be able to focus a little bit better. So raise
Starburst too.
Starburst is good for the sugar part. That's it, not at the test. The sugar part is good. So please make sure in the morning or whenever you're taking a test. First of all, the night before, make sure you sleep well. Have some sugar before you, not too much, because you don't want to have sugar crash right after that. And now let's talk about during the test. How many of you, while you're taking a test, you look at your neighbors? Not the answer, that's not what I'm talking about. Just looking at to see who's doing what. Do you know we do not recommend that? The reason is that because that's a horrible way of getting distracted. Because a lot of times then we ask ourselves, like, oh, she's writing too fast. Oh, maybe she knows more than I do. Oh, maybe, what does she know that I don't? So that's distraction. We don't recommend that. Exactly people who go on a race, even in a running race, do not look at people here and there, because you have to really try your best, you try your hardest, and whatever that's going to be. So anyone has a good idea for calming during the test? Any ideas? Please, I want to hear that. What do you guys do? What do you do? Tell me your name, please. Leila June. What do you do?
I like take myself out of the situation, and I realize that all this stressing won't actually make my grade better on the test.
Very good. So this is exactly, guys, please get familiar with the term of guided imagery. Let's imagine you have to go to get your root canal for your tooth. You need to go to a big test. You need to go to a situation that your parents make you to go to a party, or you have to go speak to talk somewhere. The guided imagery is that beforehand, before the actual event, you kind of walk yourself through really doing that thing. So your mind is going to kind of get used to the situation. It's nothing new. While you're really doing that, it's like you've done that before. So you do the experience beforehand. Now let me talk about one of the number one cause of teenagers having stress or being stressed out for the test is if they're shy people. Does that make sense? Yes. What is the definition of self-esteem? What's the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence? When a person is really comfortable with who they are, they know what they know what they are, they know their strength, they know their limitations, they know what they're good at, they know what they suck at, and they're comfortable with that. And if there's something that they can use to make their limitations to do better, they do that. If they know there's not much they can do about it, they accept. Someone with high self-esteem knows the difference, and they know who they are, and they are at peace with who they are. Self-confidence is where, let's say, I can be a great dancer, but I really don't like myself. I really can't look at myself in the mirror because I don't like the whole person. Does that make sense? I know I'm good at something, but not as the whole person. So is it good to be shy? As a matter of fact, some study shows if kids can use not too shy that to really affect their functioning of the day, it does help them in life, but to some degree. A lot of study shows if the stress level for test taking is around 3, 2.5, 3, it's great. You don't want to be higher, you don't want to be lower. If it's a little bit higher, it's a little bit difficult because then you can't perform. If it's too low, that means you don't care. So that, yes. Does that make sense? So stress is absolutely, it's part of life. There's no such a thing as stress-free life because that can be fuel in life. Peer pressure, that is actually one of the hardest one among teenagers when they come to school. Do you think, what is the biggest identity of teenagers in high school? What's your biggest identity? Identity is, what is identity? I want to hear that too. Okay, how you look, is that the, okay, I'll take that. What else? What else makes you you? Very good, being a student. That is your really big, the identity, I always look at it as a pizza. Each piece has the part of who we are to make it a whole pizza. So being a student is a piece of that pizza of the identity. What else? What are the other pieces of who we are? Friends. So as a friend, that is one of the biggest piece of pizza of the teenagers. Friendship. As a friend, who we are. As a student, who we are. And then what else? And you mentioned something. What did you say? What was the hardest part of being a teenager? Parents. So being the child of the house. Your identity, as we said, the biggest identity of teenagers are friendships, being a student, being the child of a house. So there are a lot of pieces has to come together for you guys to be you. And it's very difficult. As you said, the peer pressure is really difficult. What is number one thing that teenagers do to take stress away and they shouldn't be doing? Drinking alcohol. Very good. Yes, Sam.
Or sometimes they smoke cigarettes and then it damages themselves.
You're absolutely right. You know what? You're sitting here, and I'm so glad you're sitting here because I have a theory about kids, all grown-ups for smoking. I think a lot of people smoke because of the deep breathing that they do while they smoke. I looked everywhere to see if there's any study about it, and I couldn't find it. So I think that deep breathing, it's very connected, because a lot of them, when do they smoke? When they're really anxious, angry. Oh, I need to smoke. Why?
So they're smoking, but they're really deep breathing. So for all of us who want to be healthy, let's lose the cigarette and just do the deep breathing.
Absolutely. Why is so important to have a good spring break or breaks in life?
Because it's okay. So spring break is in the middle of all the studying. So spring break, it's the one time that you can relax and then like rejuvenate.
Yes. But okay, now let's look at it in one day. Life, we need to have vacations, big vacations in life. Let's talk about vacation in one day. How can I take a vacation in one day? I have to be at school. I can't go anywhere. What can I do?
Yoga.
I love that. I love that. Truly, by the way, again, if you look at the studies, what does music does? Do you know what the music really does? Music plays on your heartbeat a lot of times. That's why a lot of teenagers like those loud boom boom music, because it really touches your heart. I'll teach you one quick massage that whoever is stressed out, or especially for pain in the body, it takes 2-3 minutes. Right after your answers, I'll quickly go over that. Sleep. A lot of that's number one things younger kids do when their mom and dad fight. They go sleep. Yeah, because that they check out. They don't have to hear them fight because they get really scared. That's stressful, but they get really scared. So that's a way of checking out. So yes, sleep. Any more ideas? A quick nap. Remember that meditation? Remember that relaxation? You can, as you said, the very short naps during the day. How about having a very wonderful snack that you like? How about making a phone calls or talking to someone that you really enjoy? By the way, what is the definition of best friend? Good friend? A friend is a good friend that we absolutely have to trust them. Number one, trust. Number two, we have to feel good about ourselves around them. Those two are big requirements of having good friends. So if some of your friends do not make you feel good, look into that. If you don't trust them 100%, look into that. Those are not best friends. Those are not big friendships. Yes, sweetheart? You know, that does happen. So what do you think we can do about it? By the way, communication. In every relationship, there has to be communication. What does that mean? That at some point you have to have a talk about it. But some of it is not always about us, because there could be people who have a hard time trusting other people. So that makes it a very difficult relationship sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, because you share more than what you receive that way. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Do you remember when I said there is a quick thing that you can do for if you have pain or if you are too nervous? Like for headaches, it works perfect. Left hand, left pinky, you put pressure with 2 fingers right there, and it has to be higher than your heart. And you do that for a minute. But I would love to do it for someone. That means that's the best way if someone does it for us. This is her left pinky because it's closer to her heart. This is what I do. Pressure is a little bit too much, okay? So don't drink it. And at the same time, you know how when we get, I'm going to touch your face. Okay, put your back. Stop smiling. No, you can't smile. And you put pressure right when, you know, when we have nosebleed. So now you have to do that 5, 3, 10 for me, 2 of them. Okay, do the 5, 3, 10. 5, nose in. No, that's too fast. Nose in, 5, hold 3, 10, mouth out. I promise you that does wonder. If for whatever reason you guys do not like to get pressure on your nose, the next best thing, which I prefer, is the arch of eyebrows, you put pressure there.
Wait, what is
And when you are stressed out, when you're too angry, when you're too, anything that your body is out of optimal.
Wait, but how do you do it to yourself?
Very good question. You take turn.
Oh.
You do 2 deep breathing. You put your hand down very gently, and then you do this. You do the 5, 3, 10. You alternate. Does that make sense? Very good.
All right, Sammy Salandra.
Thank you.
Layla Golaya.
You have one.
Layla. Sanam Bro.
I didn't put my name in there. I should have.
Liza. Okay. Maybe you guys can be winners next time.
I wanted to tell you that on April 14, we're going to have another one. So you have a chance to win, and chance to eat, and chance to listen to more subject. Please tell your friend.
What day is that? What day after we?
April 14. It's a Monday. This will present to you by Bianca Foundation, guys. And the goal of the Bianca Foundation is to educate young student, young teenage.
Hi, I'm Chloe Levion.
Darling, from today, if you can come up with 2 things that you really think that is going to help you in life, what are those?
I think it's the breathing exercise, the 5-3-10, and the nose above your heart, the finger above the heart, and the weights to calm.
That's a good one. Yeah, you can use it for anger, frustration, anxiety. You're so smart.
I always breathe really hard before a test, and I think that's
Does
really
it help?
gonna help.
Good.
It's gonna
but
help.
Try the 5-3-10 though. So if you could change one thing about school system, what would you change?
I think it would be the chewing gum, because I feel that it really helps.
I think so too.
My name's Lior Slavic.
I'm Daniela Naimi.
So what did you guys think that you walking out of this room today with? What did you, beside the Play-Doh one?
Taking my things. She kept taking everything.
We'll get you for that later. What did you learn? What tools do you think that added to you
Well,
today?
like this thing when you hold it in like this, like in the breathing. I use that personally too when I'm like under stress and like tests and all that.
Good for you. But did you try that 5-3-10? How was that different?
Like I use like a different. I just like breathe like hard and I like deep breaths.
But do you know when you do the 5-3-10, it's supposed to be kind of quiet down you, so that you kind of take the edge off of when you're frustrated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. What did you get out of today?
I thought today was really helpful because, especially during finals, I get really stressed, and I thought that like the breathing really helped me.
My name is Renee Cobb, and I'm from Beverly Hills High School, assistant principal. This was an excellent session for our students, especially for our teenagers. And as you could see, it wasn't a large session, but for the students that came, they were really focused. It gave them an opportunity to think about what could they do when they're stressed out. And believe me, our kids are high academic achievers, and they do need a moment to figure out when they go in to take that test or to do the presentation, how do they minimize their test anxiety, or how do they minimize their stress? Quite frankly, all of us need to know that. But it was an excellent opportunity for our students. All the students were engaged. They held on to every word. So I think we'll need a bigger room for the next one. Thank the people of Bianca Foundation for bringing this session to our students. I know that we'll have more next time, and it's an important opportunity for students to learn something that they need for a lifetime. So they're learning life skills today.